If you had any doubts until now, then you won't have any more from now. Be prepared, as the mutants will strike again, but this time as a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We have all the interesting details known by now, and we are happy to let you know that. So stay tuned in the next couple of minutes and watch the whole video. First, let's make a little recap of the X-Men saga until now. After Disney acquired 21st Century Fox, we were sure that the X-Men mutants will become part of the MCU. The next step was for Marvel to obtain the film rights for X-Men, and that also happened. Now Marvel has the rights for 13 movies made so far in the X-Men franchise. These 13 movie titles in the past 20 years grossed over, believe it or not, over $6 billion worldwide. The X-Men fans are finally sure that this legacy is in safe hands, and that this saga will continue anytime soon. Every generation in the past 20 years has their favorite X-Men title, but everybody agrees that there is so much more potential in this franchise, and fans are impatient to hear about a release date for a new movie. X-Men's original trilogy, the Wolverine trilogy, then the 2 Deadpool movies, and the 4 prequel movies. All of this is now in a new guise, rebranded under Disney and Marvel. However, there isn't any official information on when the saga will continue, and only one man will probably know for sure. That's Marvel head chief Kevin Feige. This guy is a freaking genius, and everybody believes in him. Of course, he is a little bit careful for now, because you remember how the 2020 X-Men spin-off has passed. For those who don't know, the movie was released on August 28, 2020. Even though everybody expected it to be a hit, The New Mutants was a real flop. The pandemic did its job, and the movie grossed only $41 million against a budget of between $67 and $80 million. And that wasn't the only problem. The fans resented 21st Century Studio for the lack of story and the cast selection. But again, now the rights for the X-Men franchise are acquired by the right guys, and things will go in the right direction for sure. The biggest question that floats around right now is, will MCU hit that like button? No, really. The question is, will MCU bring back the same X-Men characters? Or will the studio go with some new faces that are unknown by now? Can you imagine an X-Men movie without Wolverine? Do you think that he's finished in the Logan movie? Let's think positive right now and hope that Logan was not the last thing from Wolverine and X-Men. Now, let's see if there's any release date for a new X-Men movie. We don't want to, but we are going to disappoint you, as there are still no official dates for filming. Of course, the rumors are here, and they are saying that the next X-Men movie will be released as a part of Marvel Phase 6 in 2025 or 2026. Marvel's head chief Feige confirmed the information for Collider that the mutants will be put on the table in the coming few years. It has been heavily discussed, as you might imagine, and we have a good feeling of where it's going and when it's going. But that all remains to be seen, he said. Marvel has announced the release dates for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Guardians of the Galaxy, The Marvels, and recently, the release date for the new Blade movie. There is nothing for the mutants right now, but they probably will show up as a part of the upcoming projects before they get their own movie, as there is no clue about who's coming back in the cast for the new movie. We are asking you, can you imagine an X-Men movie without Halle Berry as Storm, or Patrick Stewart as Professor X, or even without Ian McKellen as Magneto? We can't, but things are a little bit different right now, and maybe we won't be watching these actors in the X-Men franchise anymore. For example, mutant Messiah Hope Summers is ready to be taking Magneto's place, or Margot Robbie said that she is ready to take the place of Rebecca Romijn as Mystique. Some of the previous Fox's X-Men actors may be returning in their roles, but surely some pure blood is needed in future projects. This will be the most interesting part to follow in the coming months, but we are sure that Marvel and Disney will take the job seriously and will establish the right group of actors as part of the MCU. The previous confusion must be overtaken. X-Men movies at the beginning had a great start, but suddenly, fans who knew the backstory for every character got a little bit confused. This is the one thing that Marvel and Feige are considering at this point, and they don't want to make any mistakes. On the latest Marvel Studios panel at San Diego Comic-Con, Marvel officially confirmed many Disney Plus shows and films that fans can look forward to, but they didn't announce a single X-Men project. Mutants seem to be smashing that subscribe button and hitting that notification bell. No, really, in all seriousness now, mutants seem to be absent from Phase 5 and Phase 6 of the MCU. So we have to be prepared for several years of waiting before the X-Men arrive in the MCU. In the past months, many actors that played roles in the X-Men movies spoke about the possibility of returning to their roles. We found some statements from Shawn Ashmore, Kelly Hu, Kelsey Grammer, and of course, Hugh Jackman. Ashmore, who played the Iceman in 4 X-Men movies, said that he is 100% ready to reprise his role in the future. "I grew up playing that character. I'm comic books fan, so I would do it again in a second," Shawn said. Rebecca Romijn, who played Mystique, also showed interest to reprise this memorable character. "Yes, it was a fantastic franchise to be a part of. I'll love that cast until the day I die, and I would be open to that," she said. One character that has so much more potential is Dr. Frazier of The Beast, who was played by Kelsey Grammer. The actor agrees that his character has a lot more to be explored. Kelly Hu also showed a desire to return to her role as Lady Deathstrike. In an interview for Comic Book Movie, she said that a chance to bring Lady Deathstrike to the big screens would be an opportunity that's hard to pass. "Yeah, it would be awesome to bring her back. It would be a lot more fun," Hu said. And finally, Hugh Jackman. Here, the biggest dilemma seems to be solved. Even though the X-Men fans around the world can't imagine someone other than Jackman to play the Wolverine character, or even worse, an X-Men movie without Wolverine, the actor seems to have a different opinion about this. For Jackman, it seems to be over, and recently he said that somebody else will pick it up and run with it, so we can presume that someone else will step onto the stage. But who knows? This could be just the beginning of a new era. Journalist Devin Faraci for Cinema Sangha said the reason why mutants weren't announced at Marvel's Hall H panel is that Marvel Studios can't make their X-Men movie until at least 2025, and that's due to the contractual situation with the original Fox stuff. If they don't want to use the actors from Fox, then they will have to wait until the contract expires, and that's 2025, he said. And while we are talking about what the next story will look like and who will take part in it, one thing we have to mention. According to Giant Freaking Robot, Marvel and Disney had a little conflict. Apparently, Kevin Feige wants to make an X-Men series show, and Disney wants a movie. This could also contribute to further delays, and according to this source, Feige is scared that a new movie could have the same fate as Eternals. Marvel's head chief thinks that X-Men characters will need some more time to truly develop in the MCU, and the series can be the perfect way to introduce them in the best way. So, if Feige's idea wins in the end, we could see X-Men characters crossing their paths with some other superheroes from MCU before they show up in their solo project. We'll see what's going to happen. Just be patient. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.